Hey folks, it's Tammy here, and I wanted to bring you another Before It Falls Out of My Brain video. I've decided to call them that because that's what I tell my family about things that I want to get out of my head and take care of before I forget about it. So we're going to do this because my list of things I'm eventually going to write about is long, and I know that if I actually write about this, I will spend a lot of time editing and worrying about it. And if I just talk to you about it, it will be out in the universe. And that's where we want this to be, right? Because this is a conversation. Um, so it's December 21st. Happy solstice. Um, and there is a really beautiful um, idea going around social media right now. So let me step back and say, at the end of the year, a lot of writers especially um, will post a list of their achievements from the year, things that they've published, maybe presentations they've given, things like that. So it's pretty common practice. And a lot of these are not just saying, this is what I've done, but also a lot of it is for like award consideration stuff. So I mean, it feels like it's a lot and there is some pressure to do it. Um, but when you see enough of those posts, and I see a lot of them in my circles, and I love seeing those because I love seeing things that, the writers that I admire and my friends have done, because I can go back and read things that I might have missed. But anyway, it's impressive what people can get done over the course of a year. And that impressiveness can also be kind of intimidating. So the idea that's been going around social media is that a lot of people are going to be posting lists like this. And if you feel like you haven't done anything this year, it's okay, because getting to the end of the year, especially post-pandemic, we'll say it that way, that's an accomplishment in itself, and that should be something that we celebrate as well. I'm going to add something to this idea that just getting through the year is something worth celebrating. I have a yes and then I also wanted to clarify a couple of things around these year-end accomplishment lists. I have a couple of things that I wanted to add to that first. But let's go back to the idea of the idea that you can feel proud just to get through the year. My yes and is that it's okay if you can't quite see the value in just getting through the year yet. The last, I don't know, decade has been great for me, but before that, in my 20s and 30s, I had a lot of years that there was a lot of stuff that I had to deal with. We're just going to call it stuff. And there were several years in there, especially years when I wasn't writing, that I felt like I had nothing this year. And if I looked at it from that point of view, and I certainly did in the moment, it certainly felt like I didn't do anything that year. That said, it wasn't until years later that I began to appreciate the fact that just getting through those years where things were just suboptimal, I'll just say it that way, things are not great. Getting through those years were great in and of themselves. Even if I didn't write a word, even if, I didn't feel like I was making progress at the time, because I could build on that time. I could build on the progress that I felt during that time just by getting through and maybe resolving things that got me where I am now. I have 4 books out now. I've got 2 under contract for next year. I've got a manuscript that I'm very close to finishing. Got some other projects that I'm really excited about. I would not be here right now, the end of 2023, with all that accomplished if I hadn't gone through a lot of that stuff in my 20s and 30s. So that's something worth keeping in mind. The other thing that I think is really important to note about these year-end lists is that even though I'm presenting these publications and these books, etc., as my own personal accomplishment, they didn't happen just through my own work. There were a lot of readers out there who gave me encouragement to finish things. The editors definitely who published my work, who really worked with me. I had a great editor at the Wild Rose Press who just really worked with me to craft my mystery into what it is now. And I'm so grateful to her. I wouldn't have that book out if it weren't for her. Same thing with all of my poetry books and individual poems that I got published. I wouldn't be there without the feedback and the encouragement that I got from fellow writers. So I think it's important to note that you see these year-end lists and they are impressive, and I'll probably put my own out pretty soon. Know that when I'm doing that, I'm coming from a place of gratitude. I'm coming from a place of gratitude for the ability to do the work, to achieve these things, and also for everyone in the community who did anything to support that work. So know that I'm not alone in that. When I'm putting out my year-end list, when a lot of writers are putting out their year-end list, when a lot of creators and artists and people who achieved great things, it's not entirely in the spirit of look at me. It's in the spirit of, yes, I achieved this, but I'm also grateful for everything and everyone who helped me get there. The other thing to think about, and just kind of going back to the idea of getting through a year where it feels like you're not achieving all that much, is that a lot of the things that I accomplished this year did not begin or really didn't take place so much this year. So for instance, I started writing the Cozy Mystery that came out in January back in 2020. So, I mean, if you know anything about the publishing industry, it is slow going. So I started writing it, and then I revised it a few times, and then, maybe a year and a half later, I submitted it for publication, and then the publication process takes a while too, because there are so many little moving parts like editing and covers and ISBNs and all that good stuff. So as you're looking at the lists, think about the fact that yes, the end result might have happened this year, but a lot of these things have been a long time coming. The poems that I had in this poetry book that I had come out this year, I started those in 2020 as well. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. It may look like an impressive amount of things for one person to do in 1 year, but often those yearly lists are just a culmination of a lot of things that have been happening for a long time. So that's really what I wanted to say about year-end lists. That's it. I'd love to hear about your accomplishments this year. I'm going to have a video next week. Hopefully I will totally get over this cold. That's why I'm just, apologize for my voice. I sound a little funny this week. I'm going to do another video next week about what I want to do next year. I'm going to talk a little bit more about radio stuff this year because I upgraded to general this year on my amateur radio license. I'm getting extra next year. Going for the extra. And again, that's something that I didn't do entirely on my own. I'm really grateful for everyone who put together study guides and practice tests, all that other good stuff. The VECs, just for being there to have the structures in place so you can go take the tests. So it's all good. It is all good. Anyway, so let me know what you're particularly proud of this year. You can write it in the comments below. You can send me an email, dancingwiththedistance@gmail.com. I'll put that in the notes for this show, and I will keep you updated on my accomplishments, and I would love to spread the word about other people's accomplishments too. So keep me posted. Thanks.